Hey everybody, I'm Chief Master Sergeant Jared Petrus. I'm actually here with Command Chief Tom Schaefer of the 57th Wing out at Nellis Air Force Base. And Chief, you're kind of starting something new. So what is all this about and why are we even on camera, really?
Right. So General Goodman, my boss, and I have been searching for ways to connect with the airmen of the 57th Wing, as well as have those airmen connect with the mission and each other in the 57th Wing. It's one of his priorities of his command, as well as one of my lines of effort as on the enlisted side. And the desire here is we have so many resources this day and age on how to connect, so many various ones. And back in our day, coming up, the way you connected was walking around and face to face. It was really the only way you connected. But there's so many different ways now that we're trying to touch, because the mission of the 57th Wing is so vast that you could be in your little spot doing your mission and not even know what the thing next to you is going on, or who the airmen are, what the amazing things they're accomplishing. And as we've gone around the wing and to all our GSUs and DRUs, we see these amazing things and we document them. And I'm trying to get it out on Instagram and Facebook. And doing a podcast is just another way to highlight 57th Wing Airmen, Bullseye Airmen, their stories, and how they relate to each other in the mission. That's the goal, the overarching goal here.
And that makes sense to me. And what are we calling this thing?
We're calling it On Target with the Bullseye Chief.
Okay, good deal. And then the idea is that this will continue on in perpetuity. And
right. Trying to set something up sustainable for the next 57th Wing Chief to easily continue. And hopefully it's successful and they can just keep it going as a form of connection and information for all my airmen.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, because really what we need from airmen is to understand the mission, realize the impact that they're making, and understand that, they have purpose in everything that they are doing within the Air Force for America.
Absolutely.
Just to make the world a better place, really.
Yeah. And you and I well know the impact of the 57th Wing. I think sometimes a day can go by when people are really almost blind to it, because you spend your day making the sausage, doing your job, and it's actually the stuff we do on a day-to-day basis is miraculous. It is absolutely miraculous, and it gets the highest level of attention because that's the level of stuff we're doing at this wing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's within the wing, but it's funny because you talk about, miracles every single day, right? Just to get, and not to pick on any particular aircraft, but if you're going to say an A-10 or an F-16 or an F-22, F-35, like it is a bunch of small miracles all put together that the maintenance airmen and the maintenance or the airmen in the maintenance group are doing to get these things to be able to fly to then impact the mission later on, especially in the 57th Wing, as we talk about training and training for combat and the future fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's incredible what everybody's doing within the wing.
And when we go down the line on the maintenance, you mentioned the maintenance group, down on maintenance, just on a normal day, we'll be driving down in our golf cart, and we'll stop and talk to an airman who's working on a jet. Maybe give them a Monster, bring some cold drinks out there, and just ask that airman their, like, what's your story? And the amazing part of all of it is everybody's story is different. And here's this 18 to 20-something-year-old airman working on a multi-million-dollar fifth-generation weapon system that trains fifth-generation pilots for a fifth-generation fight. And not many countries entrust the youngest generation of their population with that kind of responsibility. And our airmen crush it every day, all day, every week of the year, without fail, nonstop.
No, we ask, especially, and I know we keep touting the 57th Wing, but guess what? This is the 57th Wing podcast, so deal with it, right? But, I mean, the level of sortie generation that we are doing here, the level of training that we are doing here. I mean, because you have as the command chief in the 57th Wing, you and General Goodman have a massive swath of things that you guys are doing. We're talking about everything from sortie generation to training pilots to training TACP. The TACP FTU falls under the 57th Wing.
Right.
I mean, it just keeps going and going because, I mean, you guys, how many people are in the 57th Wing right now?
Total force, including our contractors, civilians, and everything, we're about 5,000 people.
Spread across the continental U.S.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible because I know, at least for the weapons school part, we have 9 different locations.
Yes.
All of those folks still fall under the 57th Wing.
You have 9 GSUs. The OG has 5 GSUs. The maintenance group doesn't have any GSUs, but they're the largest maintenance group in the Air Force.
Yeah.
The maintenance group of this wing is the size of my last wing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, needless to say, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in the wing, and I think it's pretty awesome that you are going to take the time out to do this because I know you have less time than I do. And so I know how busy I am. So I definitely appreciate you doing this. And I think it's going to be awesome for you to be able to, propagate your message out there. And I definitely recommend getting General Goodman in my seat.
Yeah.
To talk about, because I think between the both of you, you guys have got a great message to get out and helping the folks in the 57th Wing understand their mission and their purpose and how they can get after it.
Absolutely. And I think future episodes, which you see, we'll have General Goodman on here. We'll have members of the 57th Wing Airmen telling their story. We'll try to make it pertain to something relevant at the time, whether it's mission relevant or just event relevant. Plenty to talk about in this wing, from the Thunderbirds and Amos to weapons school with Wizants and red flags and green flags and FTUs and aggressors.
Yeah.
Don't forget we have the only aggressors in the entire Air Force, right?
Yep.
So hopefully this will churn interest between the airmen of the 57th Wing to maybe when we talk about, let's say, the aggressors, for instance, and somebody in the weapons school or more likely the MXG went, oh, really? Like, I didn't know that. Tell me more. Maybe we can spur that kind of interest. That'd be great.
No, absolutely. So, again, appreciate you having me on to help introduce you.
Thank you.
It definitely means a lot, especially because we go back for so long.
Go back a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Thank you for helping us jumpstart this.
Absolutely. Anytime. And we'll see you guys later.